This is Deb, and Zanzi, you missed her Chewbacca-ness. Got this good Chewbacca growl. Really like my puppy. She's very, very good. Anyway, I put the hat on to do the recording because she thought we were leaving. Always Chewbacca-ing at me. More outside time. I am autistic and have been homeless for 16 months. Is ending. Here's the deal. The complementarity answers Cartesian split. There's no such thing as duality. And it's the macroscopic prejudices of these light sensing organs that has kept us from understanding ourselves as human beings. Consciousness is elemental. And we're going to find that all of this randomness in Werner Heisenberg, take your uncertainty principle and mosey along, because the certainty comes from consciousness. And not just human to consciousness belongs to all carbon-based life forms. All carbon-based life forms. It's the truth. Now, we are slightly different. And we have a consciousness. Do you see? Poor Zanzi she needs some extra time. I need some extra time to not be in this freaking car. We've just been imprisoned trying to stay alive because it's so toxic in this universe. I know, my poor puppy. And she overreacted and she's trying to make up for it. She won't let my brain be. Two autistic beings in 5 foot little world. This is how Socratic improv changes the world. Because what's happening is your brain, and my brain is demonstrating it to you now, because we do a fabulous stream of subconscious where whatever happens, and you gotta deal with it. You can't turn off the camera, start again, because the dog is licking, and that your brain, after now months, your brain just oh! And you're not mad at her for licking. You're in the full thing that you can't solve the problem that's causing her to lick, because nobody on this planet will listen to you. And your life has been in jeopardy. Not just for 16 months. This has been since my first dog. Contacted leptospirosis and went through 6 weeks of intensive care to ultimately die of renal failure. And I was alone. I'd been alone. I have continued to be alone for 12 years, her entire life, if I'm not his dog. And this is happening to all of us. This slow degradation of our ability to be a free thinker, our ability to have a life filled with pleasure. We live in this civilization of complete and utter imprisonment. Plantation capitalism has spread across the entire globe. Nobody's naming it. Nobody's understanding. Everything that's wrong with humanity is because of plantation capitalism. It's because of whiteness. Not talking about skin color here, this faulty, made-up socialization of racism and all these things. We got to stop it. But this is a mind virus, whiteness. It's beyond. These overtly evil practices. We know they're overtly evil, and we all go around saying, well, they're overtly evil, but we don't do anything. Now, this is a conundrum because what I'm doing is thinking about these things, but I'm thinking about these things for the greatest global good. And I'm thinking about this, not just me, then I immediately go and think about my doppelganger in Botswana. I think about if I was there and what the differences in my life might be, and is what I'm thinking for the good of both of us. Yes, okay. Then go find somebody. I think about Papua New Guinea. And I ask myself, well, I don't have much data. But what I know for certain is all the specialness of my own life. So if I take all that away, am I inherently as a human being? I brought my doppelganger from Botswana. She's there. I'm telling you. And whether your eyes see the similarities, there is a soul right now in Botswana who's really waiting for this kind of movement. Now, I don't know exactly how much, different, if we're completely different ages or maybe different genders or whatever. There's a person there who, human, just keep it all, because we've got to unite as one species. This is what this is all about. So I've turned this on, and I'll go back to it now. All the context laid out of the challenges in my life when I came to this foundational change everything about the history of science. Just being somebody with a bachelor's in philosophy. Alma mater retracted because they on my shit list. Left me to die in the parking lot in this car for 7 months. Asking for help. Nobody on the campus cared about my life. And they're walking around printing up things because Andrew Carnegie said, put your heart in the work. Look, Andrew Carnegie rolling in his grave at what this humanity is doing to me. Boy, who's the philanthropist, the humanist, the rich-ass motherfucker who's ready to be the next Carnegie? Because what Andrew Carnegie did with the libraries, it's unprecedented. The way he improved the knowledge base of our species. I need somebody else to do it again. I'm not telling you how, but I can guarantee. I've been over here, BG Library. His portrait is right there every time I turn around. Andrew Carnegie, right over here. And it's Andrew Carnegie going, we're going to find this patron. You've got it. You know that I only exist because of the Carnegie Libraries. And that I exist, and that nobody who's currently alive will sit and listen to me long enough to help me. Not force me to get help that does nothing for me. It's like, oh, help! Oh, just commit yourself to poverty. I can't because of you. My concern for you doesn't let me get all flustered. I am here. I'm the fifth element in the parlance of the movie. But in the parlance of real life, I'm the fifth force consciousness. This is stream of subconscious, stream of subconscious, not stream of consciousness. Stream of subconsciousness. All of my socialization, every bit of things that would tell me, you can't say that. That's the prison. That's the imprisonment of plantation capitalism, which is go to work and make money for somebody you'll never meet in your life. Give your life force, all of it, to somebody who has wealth that you cannot imagine. It's all consolidated. Everything rolls up. You've seen it. It was nothing but mergers and acquisitions. There's a very few humans on this planet who are living lives of agency, of free will, of bliss. That's what we are built for and why we are all so miserable. Evolution has a pleasure principle. Yes, that's right. What I am as the fifth force is somebody who can take these 5 guys and point out what they got wrong. Which 5 guys? Descartes, I think therefore I am, got to be fixed. Newton, gravity, it's a very weak force, got to be fixed. How we understand gravity. Right, again, not saying that we're not debating gravity. You've gotten it all right at the macroscopic level. Let me tell you about it microscopically. Let me tell you about it consciousness-wise. Then, next guy, Darwin, forgot the pleasure principle. And just to forget it, it's the crucial, it's the foundation of the evolution of sapience. So you go from consciousness to sapience. And we are now in 2022, and I am alone on this planet as far as I know. Now demonstrating the expansion of consciousness. Cubed. It's exponential once you get what I'm on. Brainwaves. Not the seeing, the brainwaves in here. Everything that Western science has gotten wrong in the entire Western thought tradition, it started with empiricism. That got to be able to see it. We cannot see electrons. Cannot see electricity. This is the foundation of why the philosophical hypothesis of bioelectricity, which is my own intellectual property 100%, and claimed it on the internet in ways astoundingly creative. Philosophical hypothesis of bioelectricity switches us from our own limitation of only trusting our eyes. Seeing is believing. This is a paradigm that is faulty, flawed, and fraudulent. There's the internet, right? What's one of the most burgeoning aspects of the internet? Visual illusions. We don't understand how creative our mind's eye is. And so when it comes to understanding human functioning, we've always got to put evolution back in to biology. So I'm fixing Descartes, Newton, because gravity and the sun is all this very important. The few things that Newton just didn't have the equipment and he didn't have the data and he hadn't. Guy number 4, I have to dispute. It's only because I'm the large redheaded girl who's grown up to give Sigmund Freud vagina envy. The linear phallicness of Western thought over these past 500 years, it's just about extincted us. We've got to bring in, and when I use masculine and feminine, I'm talking about true, sincere, yin yang, balance, harmony, the completeness of the electrical circuit. For me, it's all about the electrical circuit. Philosophical hypothesis of bioelectricity. You can never understand one if you don't have the zero. Our eyes would tell us you don't understand the one without the two. And then we can think bodies and all of that kind of stuff. But you have to understand biology. Life itself operates in the math of life. 1 + 1 = 3. So foundational. It takes me 9 words. 1 man + 1 woman = a third baby. So, okay. We've got this realm of life, we call it quantum, where our eyes can't see. And we've perceived of it as ever smaller, smaller, smaller. Space and time is the same thing. Space and all these little small and macroscopic and microscopic. We look with telescopes and microscopes. We're using our eyesight. But we know, bring me the electromagnetic spectrum, that light is this range right in here. Sound is down here, 20 to 20,000 hertz. And light is, in scientific notation, I don't know what it is, gigaterahertz or something. It's too high. We've gotten that wrong. And anyway, stick with me here. Light is only a certain range of hertz, of frequencies. And we've built all of our current physics that the speed of light is really like a physical cap on the universe. Well, it's a physical cap on the perception of our eyesight. And that seeing is believing versus feeling is believing is very, very constraining to our brain right now. We've gotten so much knowledge and so much data, and we're just on the cusp of it, but we've got to jump away from mental images for a while and do some non-linear thinking. Now, this is conceptually is like, what do we do? This is too complicated. In steps again, intellectual property. The way that I fix Descartes, Newton, Darwin, add the pleasure principle, Freud, get rid of the penis envy, and Einstein fix his greatest blunder, the cosmological constant, the lambda, the geometry equals things. I like my buddy David Bodanis has done a great job in pulling that together. And that Einstein's greatest blunder, Einstein's greatest mistake. Great book. So Einstein failed to grasp everything that came over this last 100 years in quantum mechanics because he needed a deity of some sort, a god. He believed. It's the faultiness of grasping what we can see and what we feel. So he had these feelings. But what a deity really is, it's life force. And we all have life force. So we're going to come to understand what they can't quite understand. They've got, quantum mechanics is a probabilistic system. And we get that word confused, especially in English, with chance. But probability is a measurement of complexity. That if you've got this mind that's formed on these three axes, but you're talking about a biological system, this is where life-centric thinking comes in. Life-centric thinking is going to give you the heuristics to come consult the greatest achievement of evolution. We are the pinnacle of evolution. And we're getting everything wrong because we don't understand ourselves. We understand ourselves. You understand consciousness. And I've sorted the hard problem of consciousness into an easy pivot. Like that part is just then we can solve all of our physiological well-being problems. I am the she Sherlock of human energy, potential, and well-being. Body, mind, and soul. There's that 1 + 1 = 3 situation. The complementarity. The particle wave. Is light a particle or a wave? We don't know. Well, it is a wave. We know. But there's something in our brain that clicks over that when we take a picture of it, which is a static measurement of some piece of data, and then we need to see that, and that is a particle. It's a quanta. We see it as a thing. But it's a wave. Same with body, mind, body, mind, body, mind. Which comes first, the body or the mind? That, for chicken and egg, we know. 100%. There is no wrong answer to the chicken or the egg at this point. All answers are wrong except for the right one, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You see how complicated my brain is? This is how my brain is always, I forget, all answers are wrong except the right one. There are no wrong answers because we know the right one. It's irrelevant. Wrong answers are irrelevant to the chicken and egg. Which came first? Let me tell you something. This is where I am going to do what I need to do. Show up at Esalen. %80 of adults in the U.S. of hypocrisy say chicken. And the other 20%, that chicken's caught in headlights. They're just deer, they're sheep, they're zombies, they're brains. Like, I don't know chicken or egg. Here's how you solve this for once and for all. You pick one. I'm picking egg. You know, I got my money, all my eggs in the eggy basket. Socratic improv. You ask one more question. You pick one. I pick the egg. Where did the first chicken egg come from? We have an answer to that question. It's reptiles. Now, what Darwin didn't see and what no man has seen and why Robert Sapolsky needs to holler is we're missing the pleasure principle. Because sure there was randomness and sure there was, selection for reproductive fitness and everything, but a large part of that, even in all of life that's not human, there is pleasure in reproduction. Perhaps nowhere near the extent that we experience it, but it's got to be there. It just drives and drives and drives. It doesn't make sense. From the baboons. Let women run the society and things become nirvana very quickly. Let the men go off to the garbage dump, get diseases, go away. Then, when the women build a society. They build it for harmony. They build it to be inclusive of all. There's none of this dominance displays and none of this fighting. And y'all can continue doing that in the game arena. We now are smart enough to take all of that and satisfy all of it in ways that aren't life-threatening. You'll have more fun, I promise. And none of y'all will die. Whew. That's a world. I've been worlding life-centric thinking. It's going to teach us how to unite as one species, teach us how smart we are, and then we should be just focusing on making sure every human that gets born has their essential needs met, because then they're all going to get as brilliant as they possibly can and make this world incredible. It takes one generation. We can demolish racism this decade. What we're getting wrong, and here's some more life-centric thinking, is you don't fight the white supremacists. They're a terrorist group. Law enforcement, deal with that. Help, but that doesn't, getting rid of one group of terrorists doesn't stop terror. It's based on pervasive paradigms that don't see us as one species. So you instead you attack the paradigms. Ending racism is about most of us who basically believe we're all human, but who practically don't know how to behave, because the society keeps going, well, you line people up like this, you line them up like that, men go first, then women, then, oh my goodness, if you somehow are kind of easy to be either one, we kill you. No. Don't kill any more people. This U.S. of hypocrisy will not do what it takes to ensure school children are safe from gun violence. No, this is absurd. This was a full Pippin, let me tell you something. Because what haven't I? What threads have I left? You know, all I need is an assistant, somebody to keep me up. I finished. I don't have to keep track of all this. So what I'm doing right here, this is showing that the body's always in charge, and the early bits to this. You know, there is lifelong and injuries, and a wisdom tooth out, and then a cracked tooth right here. I only ever ate on this side because there's one missing over here, but it never hurt, so I didn't. But it's really hashtag redheaded She-Hulk. This is my Bill Bixby side. This is my Lou Ferrigno side. This side looks, it's like perfectly model-like, framework-like. I don't know what the word is here. This side is big and kind of monstrous, but this side is kind of frozen. It doesn't really do much. And then all of everything is over here. So here's another bit from hashtag wellbeing philosophy. Here's the 3 keys to living your most exquisite life. Self-truth, self-trust, and self-touch. See, I can't do the 3. That's not something else we're working on. Okay, that works that way, but let me show you. This is what's going on behind the scenes. Do you see what? Just point made. Okay, self-truth, self-trust, and self-touch. This is how I'm. I don't have control of this fourth and fifth finger. There's some constriction. 53 and a quarter, and finally realize what side of your face doesn't work, and how you gotta sort of do massages and exercises and get functionality back online. Self-truth, self-trust, self-touch. And it's kind of funny. I mean, this mindfulness meditation stuff, it's not going to work for us anymore. And specifically get to why. Just trust me. We're not living in a world that's like the world of 4,000 years ago when they did yoga to begin with. Let's just, for example, there's so many others. This place is poisonous and toxic. Industrialization, the byproducts, the chemicals, carbon monoxide floating around. We think about global warming and we think about weather events, and but what global warming is really doing, it's poisoning the air you're breathing every second of your life. This is very horrific. I've been suffering from global warming my entire life. And my society and culture punished me for speaking up, ignored me mostly, because I'm like not taking all this punishment. I'm not the victim of all this. I am the fierce, wise, feminine, apex intellect who is fucking tired of waiting for other people to get their shit together just because of some tiny little pandemic. This is the world is about to fucking collapse around us. We're going to self-extinct our species in less than 30 years. So let me tell you something. I've got it at a Pippin. 33-minute Socratic monologue. I've solved the problems of quantum physics with consciousness. I'm also solving consciousness. And I'm interested in consciousness. I'm not really going to do the math. Quantum physics, I did E equals MC cubed. She is MC cubed. Concatenated. A divided by I. AI. E equals MC squared AI. Look, technology is actually, we worry about global warming, but I'm here to tell you, it's actually technology that will take us out. Not the singularity, but the devolvement of human intelligence. Harmony.